welcome to our weekly nostalgia-based radio broadcast. This Thursday morning, we're talking about our beloved Fantastic Four and their new action-packed future, which arrived to our cinema screens last week. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Mr. Sarcastic himself, Mr. Cooper Britton.
Good.
Welcome.
Very good. Very good.
I'm not keeping
very,
up
very,
that
very
voice
good.
for the whole episode. Jesus Christ. The
Pop off,
energy
keep
just
going.
depleted. Like, no.
Instantly gone in a second.
Welcome. We
Very
are
good.
doing Fantastic Four this week.
Fantastic Four.
I'm really tempted to join you, but I thought, no, I'll let you do that. Yeah, so we talked about Superman a couple of weeks ago. We're in another situation again where we've got a brand new, exciting, highly anticipated superhero film which has come out. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to review it. We're going to talk about our thoughts in it. And try not to compare too much to Superman.
Yeah.
Because it's only
gonna
sort of
happen,
like...
But...
It's only like one of those things that I think we'll talk about. And I think it's important to talk about because they were sort of clashed against each other. But let's talk about Fantastic Four. What is your history with Fantastic Four, Cooper?
I've always loved the Fantastic Four. I remember,
Same,
I feel very attached to the new Fantastic Four movie. Not that I grew up watching the old ones, but like, I was, whenever the buyout was for 20th Century Fox, like, I remember when all that was going on. I remember the day when the news was announced, like, I was so excited to see Reed Richards and Multiverse of Madness. Like, I was so attached. And even, like, the casting process, when they were going through the casting of Reed Richards, I was, like, following along and remember, like, all the announcements and the rumours of who was in the running for it.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I remember, and I was very, very, very hesitant when they cast Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards.
I also was.
And I have openly spoken about it, that I wasn't... not that I don't like Pedro Pascal, but my worry is that Pedro Pascal kind of is almost too big now. Like, I struggle to dissociate the actor from the characters. Like, I see Pedro Pascal as Pedro Pascal. I don't see him as whoever he was in Game of Thrones. Like, that's my issue at the moment.
It's tricky, yeah. It's a hard one when someone's that famous.
Yeah.
But I think that of all people, I think he is able to do this.
He's a fantastic
so
actor.
Well. Like,
fantastic.
He's one of the best actors that I've seen. Like,
yeah.
Because I went into it thinking that as well, and I think one thing, like, I don't think Reed as a character was perfect, but I love this version of Reed. And I'm like, if you want a Mr. Fantastic who's going to come in from one film and like lead us into the next Avengers film, Pedro Pascal is the kind of guy and the kind of caliber of actor you need to be able to do that. And that's so exciting to me. Like, I really like that. I thought the casting across the board, I think, was fantastic.
So like,
Jonathan Quinn as Johnny Storm was insanely good. I'm not even a big fan of him, like, really, like, but I really
Even Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm was so good, like, so good. They were all fantastic.
Joseph Quinn. His name. He's so good that I got him confused. Yeah. Joseph Quinn was incredible. Yeah, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm was I think kind of just one of the best parts of the film.
I think one of the best things that again, and I think one thing that you cannot fault Marvel for is their castings are fantastic. Like, I'm going to say fantastic so much, but it's just because it's in my vocabulary. I'm not doing it on purpose. We just need to. Someone get that bit out of the way now.
Someone needs to like do an edit of this episode and just like clip
every time we say fantastic,
we find the word fantastic and sort of like do a counter.
My thing is it's like with it being Marvel's like first family, like it's the original Marvel family. Like, you have to get the dynamic correct, and I think the biggest thing to take away from this movie is you feel like they've known each other forever. Like, they don't feel like
the dynamic
actors.
Is excellent. The dynamic between them is excellent. Like, the dynamic between the Human Torch and the Thing is brilliant.
The opening, like, 20 minutes of the pregnancy test, that was within the first 10 minutes from that scene with Pedro Pascal. That's when I was sold, being like, I'm so happy for this. Like, and then the scene when they have the dinner and all that kind of stuff, like, that's you get sold straight away. They're like, wow, they are a proper family. Like, this feels great. Like, and I think that's the biggest thing. I think if you can nail that, I think the rest of the movie is a lot of smooth sailing. I don't think it's a perfect movie. I said to George before, I'm hesitant to say that it's the best Marvel movie we've had this year. I'm unsure whether I think
valid,
it's... But I think it's hard to compare Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four because they are on two completely separate... Like, Thunderbolts is so dark and grungy, and like it's a lot more of like
I haven't seen Thunderbolts yet, and I really
a lot
want
more of like
to.
a Civil War kind of vibe, like a lot more of like a Winter Soldier vibe, which I think comparing it to what Fantastic Four is, the retro futuristic 60s style, like
that's why I was excited for this, because I was excited to see something a little bit different, and I think one of the biggest selling points of this film for me was the detachment from the MCU, kind of going, this is based in a different universe, and it's like none of the other context is required. And it's also interesting, it's like this, like it's never been confirmed what year it is, so I like the idea that this is like 2025 but in a different universe where everything's retro futuristic. I'm like, that's really cool, actually. I just, like, for me, I loved like the aesthetic, I loved the casting, a lot of stuff I loved about this film, but I have some pretty like significant gripes with it.
I've heard a couple of people talking about certain stuff, and I think my girlfriend clocked one very quickly when we came out the cinema, saying that there were some moments where the CG wasn't as good.
The CG was a couple questionable, and I'm so disappointed because you have to compare.
I didn't clock this.
I've never seen Fantastic, but I'm comparing back to like the early 2000s Fantastic Four films, and I'm sure they haven't aged well, right? But there are two things, right? Well, it's three things. They did not use Mr. Fantastic's powers anywhere near as much as they could have done, even in just small circumstances. And again, I think that's probably because of CGI limitations. But why could he be using it all the time in the older films, but we don't get it at all here? I understand it's different times and different budgets, and obviously I'm not blaming the wonderful VFX artists on any of these films, because we know they're underpaid and overworked. It's the producers rushing out this film. I feel like it could have done with another year in post, and I with Reed especially, like, I want to see him using his powers casually. Like, there's a shot where he's in the classroom and his like arm goes a little bit further, and that's cool.
There's the one with the lever where he pulls the lever and stuff. Like, and I think one of the things for me is there was the two main things that my girlfriend clocked when she came out. Bear in mind, she's not like a film buff at all. Her two CGI things were, there's a moment where I believe it's when they first meet Silver Surfer, Shalabal, and they come out of the car, and there's some weird CG where they roll out of the car.
I noticed it.
I clocked this one.
The prop of the car is open, and they CGI it to go from closed to open, and it looks weird.
I clocked this one, but she also clocked that there's a lot of moments when Ben Grimm's carrying the baby, that there's some apparently weird.
That as well.
I didn't. So I want to go see this in IMAX.
The baby was CGI for a lot of the film.
Yeah, and I clocked this.
Any stakes that are around that.
And when she gives birth as well, I think that you can tell that that's obviously just like it's given what, but she clocked a lot of the ones when the thing was carrying the baby that the CG was a bit dodgy.
I thought there was something missing. I think something missing about the thing as well. I love the design of the thing. There's something I can't describe it.
Bro dripped out. Can we just mention?
I didn't want him to be in prosthetics the whole film.
Yeah, I do want to be practical.
But could I just say that, like, I genuinely feel there is a lack of character and emotion compared to the early 2000s ones where the guy was in prosthetic makeup. Like, sure, this looks more comic accurate. This looks great, but in terms of emotion and character, I don't really feel like I think out of the four leads, two of them I think were done impeccably well, excellently. They were all well cast, but I think two of them, written, directed, performed incredibly, and two that weren't. I think the two that were done well, really well, were Sue and Johnny. I think they were brilliant. I think Johnny Storm is exactly what he needs to be. He needs to be sort of sarcastic and quirky, but also like serious and intelligent, and a bit hot-headed. Like, I like that. And then Sue was great. Like, Sue was the fucking like centerpiece and the heart of the like the group. She's usually like, she's the woman, but I like that she's like the heart of the team here. You know, that's what's important. I think Reed was really well characterized, and I think really well played by Pedro Pascal. I think in terms of the powers, like the superhero part, I think Reed, just as a scientist, he got that sort of quirky sort of nature. You could feel his like brain ticking in real time.
Yeah.
And I really loved his character in this. I love this interpretation of Reed Richards. But I think as a superhero, like the stretching and shit, it just wasn't there.
I think
Ben Grimm, I don't know what he really did in this film.
I agree with you for Johnny and Sue. I think the Sue is like you cannot fault anything that Sue did in this movie. Like it was all.
Not.
I think Reed for me, and this is the one thing of this movie which I found quite bizarre is, apart from the cartoon version of them, they're never referenced as their Fantastic Four names. Reed Richards is never called Mr. Fantastic once in this movie. Sue Storm's never called.
It is in the bit where he's teaching the class on the TV.
Yeah,
and it says,
but again, that's the
Fantastic.
TV show version.
Yeah.
It's never referenced. He's never referenced by anyone in the public as Mr. Fantastic. Sue Storm's never references Invisible Girl. And Human Torch is never said once in this movie. Once. And even Ben Grimm, the Thing, isn't really referenced. Like, yeah, there's the clobbering time thing, and I think that for me that takes away slightly. But for me with Reed Richards, my favorite thing about Reed Richards is the smartest mind on earth. That was always my favorite thing. It's always I love him as the guy that when there's a problem in the comics, Reed Richards is going to turn up because they're going to go, who do we need to speak to? Before Moon Girl and Devil Dino and stuff, it was like, who are we going to speak to? Let's go and speak to Reed Richards.
I love it. I think it's really well done. I think it's...
And with Ben, with the Thing, well, I guess it's Ben, it wasn't even, with Ben, I think they missed the beat slightly. There's an inkling to a romance / I'm not happy with how I look kind of underlining story, if that makes sense. That's what I picked up from it.
There was a little bit, but it wasn't as
again.
I think back,
and that's what I'm saying.
From the early 2000s.
This, to me, this is where they've missed a beat somewhere, because I think, or maybe they've done it and it's been cut. That I think they should have done a bit more with this, because it does. His whole storyline does feel like it's building up to him saying it's clobbering time, which is not great.
And sorry, someone pointed out from when the trailers came out as well, I don't know if you knew this, was like, someone pointed out in like kind of like a humorous way, like in the comics, Ben Grimm says it's clobbering time. That's what his brother used to say before beating him up as a kid. So it's like, nice of Johnny to take the piss out of it like this.
To be fair though,
obviously
there's an
not
argument
in this version, but like,
there's an argument that it makes Johnny Storm's character better, because that's 100% something Johnny would do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It makes him, but so that's the thing for me.
Yeah.
Is I have my nitpicks. My biggest thing with this is it feels like it's missing the first act. In my opinion, I think I think you split it up into 3 parts. Right, the opening was brilliant, but you've got the opening, you've got the stuff in space, which was phenomenal.
Yeah,
and then you've got the ending, which fits right. So, but I think like the space stuff and the ending is kind of its own thing. The first bit, I think, needed a bit more to it. I understand they're trying to do the Spider-Man Homecoming thing where we've seen this origin story so many times, but we haven't. I don't know of many people who saw Four Stick. I don't know many people who still remember. The first few Fantastic Four films came out 20 years ago. That's
the one thing with Fantastic Four. It's like, as much
would
as
love to have seen that origin,
for comic book fans, the Fantastic Four are huge. Like, true diehard fans of Marvel, Fantastic Four are huge. For average MCU enjoyers, I can't imagine that the Fantastic Four is so, like, I wouldn't say Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, Sue Storm. I don't think they are as big as maybe they think. I think they could have maybe done a bit more with the origin story. I did enjoy it, but obviously I know the origin story.
I know the origin story very well. I just wanted to see how they did it in this version, because I feel like then what you're skipping with these versions of the characters, you're skipping Ben Grimm. A lot of Ben Grimm's character have coming to terms with him looking so different. Because like the other three don't look any fucking different. Yeah, really. Like Ben Grimm has it worse in terms of physical transformation. Yeah, that's a big part of his character.
And I think that should have
missing
been in
this film. It's missing.
They should have had that for Ben's story. I think that's what misses from Ben's story is it's hinted at, and like I said, I wonder if it was shot and they've cut it from the movie. because I think that's a
Well,
big
there is
oversight
a lot
to
of
not.
stuff that's been cut from this film. I don't know if you've even
There's
heard
a-
about this. There's about 20
Yeah.
minutes worth at least that have been cut.
Yeah.
John Malkovich, big actor, was actually in this film.
Yes, I remember
Completely
this.
cut. He was in the trailer. He cut completely.
Yeah.
So it's all this opening, and it's all in the opening sequence because they reference a lot of like Marvel, like crappy sort of Marvel villains.
More Man, Giganto, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And John Malkovich played one of them, and it's like you've got all these things which clearly seems that they've been trimmed for time or for convenience. But that opening was brilliant. I loved it. I just wanted a bit more in that. I wanted to see their first. I mean, it's literally called First Steps.
Yeah.
Why are we starting 4 years in? What they should have done for me is they should have had like a good solid half an hour and then jumped forward 4 years and been like, here's where they are now.
I'm going to be honest. I think this movie should have been longer.
I think it should have been longer.
I genuinely think this
2 hours was too short.
I genuinely think this should have been like a 2.5 hour Marvel movie. I'll keep it a buck 50. This should have been like Endgame length. Like the fact that Thunderbolt is longer than this movie, I find bonkers. Thunderbolt has another 10 minutes or 11 minutes on this movie.
I think as well the fact that we're going. This is my. I don't know. I wanted to specify I did really enjoy this film, and I'll get on.
Yeah, so did I, and we will get. Yeah,
I feel like I need to just get this out of the way. It's like for me, it is the pacing of this film felt odd. Like that, there's so much good stuff in there that I loved, but I did especially, and I presume you stayed for the post credits.
Yeah, I'd like to discuss the post credits later. Definitely.
Yeah, okay, well, wait then, because I think for me it's that bringing it immediately back into the connectivity and going, Fantastic Four will return in Avengers Doomsday. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake! So we're there already. Like, there's not much more development before we get to that point. But
there's a lot of stuff that's been said post Fantastic Four of like bits leading into Doomsday of how, because basically, so me and my girlfriend sat during the post credits and were like, how does it? Because it was already announced that the post-credit scene was going to lead directly to Doomsday, and to me that was like, okay, Thunderbolt's post-credit scene, that's what it's going to be, and then the post-credit scene comes on. I mean, should we just talk about the post-credit scene now? Is there anything else you want to bring up?
The biggest thing that annoys me about this, right, is that it not the connectivity, not the fact that we're racing right into Doomsday, it's the fact that yet again this is now they've been the Fantastic Four for 8 years.
Yeah.
Actually, no, 9 years. Because when they do the Ted Gilbert show at the end of the film, that's their 5th anniversary. It says it on the thing behind. And then it's 4 years later. So they've been the Fantastic Four for 9 years. And we've seen one adventure halfway through that. And that's all we get character-wise. I think that is a misstep. I think this is the Marvel.
I think this is the Marvel problem, though.
Yeah.
And this
will lead up to something I'll talk about
later on.
We never would have had this back in the phase 2 or 3.
This is the multiverse problem. This is the issue that I have an article that I've pulled up that I'm going to talk about later on, discussing all this stuff, because this is currently this is basically the MCU problem at the moment, is that they've basically ran themselves into a corner with the multiverse stuff, and it just doesn't work as well as it could have and should have. The post-credit scene, though, a couple of things which I enjoyed. I think Franklin is so important in the Doomsday Secret War stuff. Like, it's crazy, so it's nice to get that. Also, the confirmation that it was Robert Downey Jr. who was playing If you've not seen this movie, first of all, go and watch it, because heavy spoilers. They came out today and confirmed that it was RDJ who did the post-credit scene, because my biggest thing was like, if this is just some guy and it's not RDJ, I'm going to be really frustrated. But the fact that I know it was RDJ who did it, I know you don't see him, but it just gives it like another oomph for me. This whole movie, you can go back on Marvel episodes. I have been so hesitant about Doomsday this whole time. From the very first RDJ announcement, this movie does renew my faith in
it renews
the Doomsday
my
Secret
faith, but it does make me wish we were more than a year away from it. I wish we were a bit more than a year. But I understand this is probably the longest gap between Avengers films we've ever had. So I understand they want to get one there. But because of the huge, almost colossal misstep of the first 2 years of like post Endgame, that we're now at a point where we almost needed to kind of get back round to doing this sort of stuff better. You know? Yeah. It's weird.
So the post-credit scene, I think I enjoyed. Like, I think it was nice. The time jump again. I
understand it for the sake of the story. It pisses me off because like we've missed.
Yeah, and it was the same thing with Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts was like a 3-year jump as well, which I'm more inclined to like, because it means we're going to get some more progress for characters. Like, if they announce that Spider-Man's going to be 3 years later, I'll be fucking over the moon. Like, it's that kind of thing. Like, I think we do need, because I think we've been so held up so close to where Endgame was, because we're not that far afterwards. I think, and the fact that we've actually caught back up, if that makes sense, in the years, like, they need to do another jump forward. But yeah, the post-credit scene, having the Franklin Richards stuff, and I think it does give a nice lead-in, because it gives you an inkling that they've already confirmed that Reed Richards is basically going to be the main character of Avengers Doomsday. He's going to be the lead of the Avengers. So to me, it basically confirms that we're going to be getting Doom and Franklin are going to be the ones that go to our Earth 616, whatever it is, to start, and then they're going to follow. My only gripe with that is I worry that there's not waiting, like, the Fantastic Four stuff isn't going to be as much. It's going to basically follow Doom, and then they're going to come in as much as the main character. We're basically going to miss out on one side. We're either going to see a lot of the Fantastic Four, a lot of the Avengers. Like, I can't imagine that we're going to see both. Fucking Infinity War was on the telly last night, and I was watching, I was like, damn. I was like, I fucking missed this. Like, it's so good. But yeah,
it's clever.
The good things about this movie,
I also need to catch up with a bunch of Marvel as well. Like, I understand that I haven't watched much of it for the last couple of years, so maybe I'm missing some development. But the vibe I get is that there hasn't been many projects which have directly lent into what's happening in Avengers Doomsday. So knowing that we're 2 films away from it is crazy.
It is crazy. Like, and I think this is a lot to do with the kind of Conqueror stuff. I think there's a lot that's gone into it that's caused these issues. A lot of the stuff behind the scenes. I think they've tried to introduce too many characters in this I don't think the multiverse saga should have worked. I was so excited for it, but it just hasn't worked. Like, the whole multiverse stuff just doesn't work now.
It's too big. It's
too big. Like, we have too many things in too many different places for it not to make sense. Especially now bringing in all the X-Men stuff. Like, it's too big, and that's kind of where Secret Wars and Doomsday leads into. But we'll talk about that later on. Can we talk about the good stuff from this movie?
Absolutely.
Can we talk about the fucking practical suit for Galactus? My fucking...
just talk about Galactus in general.
Oh,
my only
God.
Tiny little thing about that was I just wish they increased the bass on it, because like, his voice is incredible, and like,
I need to go and see this in IMAX, because I've seen some things from the IMAX screens, and my
people
God.
talk about the IMAX stuff, and I'm like, it's great, but they'll never release that. I hope they release that version on Disney Plus. I think they probably will.
Yeah, because it's so different. Like, it adds so much to the movie. Like, I am so glad, like, the fact, when it got announced before I went to see the movie, that it was him in an actual costume for the Galactus stuff. You could tell when you're watching it. You could tell. Like, him, the aura, like, the first scene. I was so excited. Like, I, had, like, a mini internal scream when the eyes lit up, and I was like,
this is great,
amazing. Also, the Shalabal stuff, the Silver Surfer stuff.
The Silver Surfer stuff was amazing. Honestly, there's quite a few times in this film where I got chills. There's quite a few times in this film where I was like tearing up. Like, it had some really strong moments throughout. I think Galactus was a brilliant villain.
Oh, I'm so glad they did it, because he's such a famous villain. He's so good for the Fantastic Four. Have you seen the interview where, you know, when they did this first scene with Silver Surfer, where she's in this car on the surfboard doing the whole speech? You know, like, the fact they actually did that. They attached her to a surfboard on a crane and gave her a microphone. Did you know this? Her first scene that she shot for the whole of Fantastic Four was her on a surfboard on a crane with a microphone with speakers around this Times Square, doing the whole speech properly, so cool. Practical, and it's like,
you kind of get that vibe when you're watching it, though. You kind of there is a bit of
Pedro Pascal was like, it was terrifying. Like, it was harrowing when she did it. Like, and it's those kind of things. Like, to me, like, it's not perfect. Like, CG's like, it's a lot of like studio stuff builds. I do think it's still a masterclass. Like, to do a practical Galactus, to do the practical Silver Surfer stuff in the sky. Like, it's those little things that I think add the extra flair to it, and I really enjoy knowing that he was in the suit and did all the motion capture stuff for it. Like, it just gives me so much joy, and the Galactus was just so fucking good. Like, it was just so good. It was so perfect, and it was so well done. The suit looked amazing. Like, it was just so
I think all the costumes looked amazing.
They all look amazing.
I love the fucking
I love the Fantastic Four
outfits.
The white and blue.
Amazing. I kind of want to get one. When would I wear it? Never.
Yeah.
But I kind of love... I love it. It's probably my favorite looking like super suit I've seen from the MCU in a long while. Reed Richards especially, I think, is just like
I think
I
Reed
just
Richards
think I just think he's cool as fuck.
I love Reed Richards.
Cool as fuck.
I love Mr. Fantastic.
I love him. And I think Pedro Pascal did an amazing job with him. I think there's certain elements of this character, like that sort of nerdy, mega intelligent side, he got completely spot on. And I know people go, "Oh, Pedro Pascal's in everything." Yeah, but I think he justifies his presence because it's not like. I like look, and I love Willem Dafoe, so you wouldn't catch me slagging him off, right? But my point is, Willem Dafoe plays the same character in everything he does, right?
Yeah,
it's exactly the same, and we love him for it, and I love seeing Willem Dafoe in anything. Well, Pedro Pascal is different in every film.
His range is very good.
Most films I've seen him. I mean, like his character in like Game of Thrones or in the Last of Us, right? It's very different to Mr. Fantastic here. I was so
he's playing a lot of dads. I will say that he's starting to get a dad record.
Yeah, I mean,
Reed
he's
Richards,
a bit of a daddy, though, isn't
Mandalorian,
he? So kind of checks out.
Last of Us, like... Yeah, but yeah, I think he's just... It warranted, like, I was so hesitant with his casting, but I think it's spot on. Like, if you're looking for...
I was sold from the trailers, to be honest, and then I think when I seen the film, I was like,
they did it because they're looking for a new Iron Man, a new like face, and I think it warrants it. Like, he is so good at it that I think it warrants him being a new face of the MCU, which I hope carries. This movie was fantastic again. I think
we'll see what happens. I think I'd like them to be the face of it though.
Yeah, I think they will be. I think from the sounds of it, I think that's what they're going for. Is they're going to try and collate it and him become the face of like the Avengers and the Fantastic Four and all that kind of stuff now.
Yeah,
like be the face of superheroes in Earth and the MCU basically.
Yeah.
Like I think the whole thing like got me excited. Also, the reference early on when Sue's giving the speech and they panned across and showed the Latveria sign, I could have fucking screamed in the cinema. Did you not clock this? Do you know what Latveria is?
I saw that and I thought it was something significant, but I just couldn't work out what it was.
Do you know what it is?
No, go on.
Latveria is the country that Doctor Doom is the president or the king of in the comic books.
I see.
I genuinely, like, if I was watching that at home, I would have screamed. So it's Sue Storm's giving, like, this speech about, it was about, like, the Mole Society or something being, like, we need to be inclusive and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
and it pans across.
Yes.
It pans
and they're not there.
It pans across to a load of, what do you call it, like,
politicians and, like...
Yeah, like, politicians and diplomats and stuff, and it shows and it holds for, like, half a beat on the Latveria sign with the empty seat. Mate, genuinely, it was that moment I was like, I'm fucking sold. I was like, fucking sign me up to anything. I was like,
clever. I hadn't clocked on that one. I knew it was
so happy.
But I couldn't work out what it was.
Yeah, so Latveria, he's the king of Latveria in the comic books.
Right.
And I was so sold.
So that's a big question. Like, is RDJ Doctor Doom from this universe?
It's been confirmed today that RDJ is Doctor Doom from Earth 828.
From this universe?
From the Fantastic Four universe, yeah.
Brilliant.
So what I think the Doomsday thing's going to be is I think that it's going to go... Doomsday starts. It's going to start at the post-credit scene for Fantastic Four. Mm-hmm. And it's going to start with Doomsday taking Franklin, taking the Fantastic Rocket, whatever it's called, Fantastic Ship or whatever the hell it's called, using his magic to essentially start jumping through and use Franklin's powers to start jumping through universes to find a way to create Battle World and to basically...
what is Doctor Doom's actual goal here? Because I don't know this from the comics.
In the Secret Wars comics, basically... So Secret Wars is like... I saw a video today and basically Secret Wars is... It's essentially like a crisis event in comic book sense, in media sense. Secret Wars is an event where, oh shit, we have too much. Like, we have too many things. Everything's so spread out. We need to do something.
Sounds like the appropriate time for them to
do that. This is what they're actually... This is what it is in the comic. In the DC, it's called a crisis event. There's apparently something called a crisis event. Basically, it's, oh shit, this is too big. We've got too many universes. We've done too much to these characters. We basically need to essentially reset the universe and reset it into just one timeline. And that's how we're going to get a new Fantastic Four. We're going to get a new set of, like, these things that have already been done before. So Secret Wars is this crisis event that basically what the comics is, Doctor Doom goes and hunts and uses Franklin's powers and goes and hunts for these, like, cosmic entities that have, like, infinite power. And what he does is he absorbs these powers and becomes what's called God Emperor Doom and uses Franklin to create his own pocket universe, which is essentially a load of Earths and universes crushed together called Battle World. And he's basically the ruler of Battle World, and essentially it's your typical there's a number of superheroes. There's Spider-Man's from every universe. There's
is his
different
aim just
versions.
Chaos then?
Basically, yeah. His aim is just to be the ruler of everything. Essentially, you've probably seen the panel when he rips Thanos' spine out. That's probably the most famous panel from the Secret Wars comic books. And it's that kind of thing. It's we want to create this Battle World thing so the superheroes can defeat this God Emperor Doom, and then the whole universe uses Franklin to essentially reboot everything. And instead of doing the multiverse stuff, it reboots into this one singular timeline with one singular Earth, one singular universe. So I think what what I envision for Doomsday is going to be like, so Doomsday is going to start at where Fantastic Four post-credit scene ended. Doom's going to take the rocket, start jumping through universes, realise that 616 is the only universe without Fantastic Four, so there's no, like, he's not going to see Franklin Richards, that kind of stuff. Fantastic Four are going to follow. Doom's going to find out about these creatures or use Franklin. At the end of Doomsday, everyone's going to lose. Battleworld's going to be created. We're going to start with Secret Wars, where we have, well, the X-Men have all, like, the original X-Men have also been confirmed, so we could get Battleworld in Doomsday as well. So it's like that kind of thing. So I think it's going to be, everything's going to collate. Secret Wars, big battle, all this kind of stuff.
I think this is going to be some really good. I think there's going to be some huge stuff here. I'd be surprised if we didn't get like our Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in there as well.
Yeah,
like
I think we're
gonna get everything here, aren't we?
So this kind of leads into the article that I pulled up that I wanted to talk about, and it's been confirmed by Kevin Feige that basically Secret Wars is going to reset the MCU. That's not reboot, reset key difference. Yeah.
Which is good. I think they should be doing that.
Yeah. So basically, what they've confirmed is that Secret Wars is confirmed to be an MCU. They're calling it a reboot here, and apparently it's like everyone's saying that this is the way that you fix what the MCU problem is it feels like there's no interconnectivity, like every movie, which, yeah, I know we're talking about, like, we prefer when movies are individual, but, like, there's so many movies in this current saga.
How do you even start to reset it at that point? Because you get to the point where how do you then determine what people want and what people don't want? Do you know what I mean?
So there's a lot of, like, questions about. So Avengers Secret War is now confirmed to forever change the Marvel Cinematic Universe as expected. That could lead to a franchise fixing the issue that has hurt the multiverse saga so far. There's been no Avengers movies in the multiverse saga, and they will soon change the Russo brothers returning to direct the two new entities. Avengers Doomsday does not arrive until December 2026. It'll be the first Avengers movie in 6 years. In that time, a lot has changed in the franchise. After all, the two main faces of the universe, Chris Evans, Captain America, and Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, left with Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow completing the picture. The MCU has tried to move on from the original Avengers cast, while half of the team still remains active in the franchise. Marvel has attempted to get new heroes off the ground, both in theaters and on TV, while some of them have been a part of MCU's best movies and shows. So the demand for more stories with the MCU's original Avengers. One of the main issues of the multiverse saga is the lack of an Avengers movie. Bear in mind, they've had multiple opportunities to do it. They've just not done it. I do think it's crazy that we've not had a Young Avengers movie or anything like that leading up to anything like this.
Yeah, it's odd, isn't it? Yeah.
The team was at the core of the franchise during the Infinity Saga, providing the connective tissue that made the MCU so attractive early on. That's kind of what it was, if that makes sense. Like, we had 4 Avengers movies, all of them being in critical moments. Technically 5 because we had a Civil War as well, which was basically an Avengers movie.
It's so difficult, isn't it? I do envy them. I don't envy them really at all, because I think it's a really hard position to be in, to kind of juggle all of this stuff. But then you think, damn, you've made a fucking mess. I think they flew past Endgame with so many plans without thinking of where it was going to go. They probably had an idea of maybe they wanted to do the Kang stuff for the next Avengers, and then down the line do Doctor Doom and reset the timeline, but they've had to bring that forward. Yeah, and I think that's what it is. So the original Avengers cast became incredibly popular, and it's easy to notice how the demand for more stories with the MCU's original Avengers remains, despite all the multiverse saga's new additions. The MCU's 2025 movies are a good example of that.
as both Captain America Brave New World, which focuses on a legacy character, and Thunderbolts, which replaced the Avengers, underperformed. Marvel is also aware that replacing
Thunderbolts did underperform, didn't it?
Yeah, which is crazy. It was so good.
Yeah.
Replacing the original Avengers is a daunting task for the studio that has yet to pay off. Recently, during a round table with members of the press, Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige explained that he believes Captain America Brave New World was because the movie was the first without Chris Evans. Marvel understands this issue. With the MCU's Avengers movie soon returning to the franchise is bound to feel like it has a firm direction again. Part of the problem related to the original Avengers cast will be alleviated as Robert Downey Jr.'s MCU's biggest star returns to both films, now playing Doctor Doom instead of Iron Man. That said, he should not stick around afterwards. This is where a new reveal comes in the Marvel comics. So bear in mind, Secret Wars is recent. The Secret Wars comic came out in 2015, which is crazy. So in Marvel Comics, in 2015 Secret Wars event, saw Doctor Doom gain immense power ruling over Battleworld. At the end of the event, Marvel heroes like Reed Richards and his son Franklin, both of whom entered the MCU in the Fantastic Four First Steps, rebooted the multiverse, and the MCU can do the same. In the same conversation with the press where he revealed about Chris Evans' absence impacting Captain America's franchise, Kevin Feige confirmed that the plan is for Avengers Secret War to reboot the MCU. Actually, instead of a reboot, which Feige thinks is scary, the Avengers movie will be more of a reset, singular timeline, and that is the best path forward.
Gets rid of all of the multiverse shit, which I think is what... It's a good idea because I think we've done it, and I think we've done it to death, and I think we've enjoyed it, and I think they can just go all out. Any little thing that they want to do, any reference that they want to pull in they can do in Doomsday, they can do in Secret Wars, and it'll be amazing. And then we can just fuck off the multiverse stuff.
Doomverse and Secret Wars will be from the cast announcement anyway from Secret Wars, with having loads of the original X-Men cast from the 20
Is this how we're finally going to get a Spider-Man film with Green Goblin and Doc Ock? Is he just going to have his fucking mind wiped from the No Way Home events?
It is going to be those two movies are going to be an absolute fan wank movie, but it's going to be great. And it's basically going to be a send-off of everything. So when the MCU was created back in 2008, Marvel Studios did not have the film rights to many of its biggest characters. However, the game has completely changed now. In 2025, after Avengers Secret Wars, the MCU's multiverse can fold into a singular timeline that has the Avengers, Fantastic Four, X-Men, Spider-Man, basically all of the Marvel roster coming into one.
Spider-Man, not so much though yet. We're still struggling with that one with Sony. That's the problem.
So Marvel Studios could still keep the MCU's history intact while paving a new path forward that way by folding different universes into one. The door would also open to recasting major roles as new versions of beloved MCU heroes and villains could rise to star in the next decade or more of the franchise slate of projects. During the conversation with the press, Kevin Feige claimed that it would be hard to recast iconic roles like Chris Evans' Captain America and Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. However, it is not impossible.
Right, but they don't need to recast Chris Evans' Captain America because we've already fucking got Sam Wilson.
However, it is not possible, as the Marvel boss noted how other franchises have done successfully, even using DC's new Superman as an example, saying David Corrin sent the new Superman, he was awesome. I think it's a very big difference, the Superman, compared to resetting the MCU.
Yeah, I don't think you can reset and then do a different thing.
No, you couldn't do another Iron Man movie. That's
people would roll their eyes at recasting these characters. The whole point is that we're handing it down to a new generation. I understand you may be not happy with how that's working. If Ironheart isn't the suitable replacement for Iron Man, I get it.
While I'm confident that Marvel will recast the original Avengers or most of them after Secret Wars, there are still a couple of ways they could be important to the franchise. Before then, for instance, Avengers Doomsday is bringing back many of the stars from Fox's original X-Men franchise for what seems to be a goodbye to that iteration of the characters. With Downey returning as a villain, the original Avengers could also play evil variants of this team, like Captain Hydra, all that kind of stuff, before Avengers Secret Wars reboot. The same could be done for the original Avengers. The movies could also feature the original team through the multiverse, time travel, or another explanation, with the heroes helping the new generation stop Doctor Doom. With Downey returning as a villain, the original Avengers cast could also believe a variant, this, that, and the other, and that's the end of it. That's from Screen Rant article. So it's interesting that they're having conversations. Chris Evans has gone on multiple occasions to say he's not in Secret Wars or Doomsday, which I call bullshit on straight away.
I call it bullshit, but I also don't know if I want that to happen. I think maybe this is the last time it could work, but he did come back for Deadpool and Wolverine. It's just obviously that's more of a funny role and playing Johnny Storm again is brilliant. I do think you could undermine Sam Wilson again by having Steve Rogers rock up.
I think the way to do it is, yes, bring him back, but not as Captain America. I think have him play I think have him play a variant, have him play Captain Hydra, have him play something like that. And I know it's so corny to do. Have Sam Wilson beat him in a fight. Like, let's do that. Because if you want to set in stone that Sam Wilson's here to stay as Captain America, that's one way to do it. It's so corny and so it's fair, such a you could have it's such a simple idea to do, but yet you could do that. Like,
this is what I'm like. I should I say it? I know this is supposed to be Fantastic Four review, and we just on multiverse, but
this is always happens though.
Marvel.
Yeah.
So for me, this sounds daft, right? And this is very much like the opposition of anything that would have ever really stood by in terms of Marvel or anything like that before. What I want to see is just chaos. I want to see multiverse stuff. I want to see cameos of people coming in and out. Like, this is the one time you really can do it. What I don't want to see as much of is these forced so-called character moments, right? Yeah. I am fucking dreading a moment where
Tom Holland realizes
yeah, right, I'm dreading that. I'm dreading Tom Holland knocking the fucking mask off Dr. Doom and being like, oh Mr. Stark. I'm like, I'd want to die if they did that. It's just boring. And, like, again, I get it. Like, Sam Wilson v. Captain Hydra, cool, right? But again, it's that moment of going, hey, look, we put them together. Aren't we really cool? Haven't we got good character? No, you haven't. This is just cheap. Yeah. Cheap, lazy. I don't mind them going crazy with the cameos and shit and multiverse stuff because that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a commentary on that. That's why Secret Wars seemingly is very clever in the sense that it's going, we're going to go balls to the wall and be as annoying as fuck and then reset everything. So you get everything that you could ever want and then we're going to reset it and we have a normal timeline.
That's what I want. It's like, I don't want, like, talking about recasts and bringing in all these, I don't want the original Avengers again. Like, what I want is I want them to dedicate themselves to the new versions of these characters. Like, every single character from the original Avengers, we have a new version of. We have She-Hulk, we have Ironheart, we have Sam Wilson's Captain America, we have Kate Bishop, we have, like, all of these characters. Like, that's how Yelena says it in Hawkeye, and I can never, ever, ever shake that way of saying her name.
Yeah, okay.
We have I don't want it to be the Fantastic Four, the new X-Men, and the original Avengers recast. I want to have the new Avengers. I want to have the actual Avengers. I want to have the young Avengers, or the Champions as it's now called, the project's now called.
The idea that these...
you have Mephisto, you have all this.
I like the idea that this Fantastic Four are going to end up being like the part of the main characters of the new MCU timeline. I think generally people like these characters and really, really are attached to them. So like them leading the new era of Marvel actually makes a lot of sense for this to be the position of their first film and not develop them too much more beforehand. But that's only if they do that. If they start killing them off and going crazy, I would be fucking... Yeah.
That's why, like, with Fantastic Four, knowing that they're going to be coming into the main universe and they're going to be the new, like, main cast, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what we need. Like, and I think that article does point out quite a big thing. It's like, you don't realize how important the Avengers movies are because the Avengers movies is the center point. You meet all these different characters, and then you do an Avengers movie where they all come together, or you do like a Civil War with everyone.
That's what I like.
It's like I think that's what we should have had. Yeah, exactly. It's what we should have had. We should have had all these new characters introduced in the first like whatever it was called, the first phase of the multiverse saga, and then you should have done an Avengers movie or some sort of Avengers movie to bring them all together. And then keep going, and then I know it's repeating the format, but then do a Civil War, do something that brings them all together, that introduces new characters, which you then go off and do singular movies, like you did with Spider-Man, like you did with Black Panther. We've not had... Yeah. Yes, we have post-credit scenes that interconnect stuff, but even then, of where we actually are, of what is coming up, I could generally count on one hand the amount of post-credit scenes you'd have to watch. There's the Marvels I think you should watch, which is an important post-credit scene.
I have seen that.
Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts. They're the only three. Shang-Chi's post-credit scene, we still have no inkling about what's going on with the 10 rings.
Ass, that one. That's just
what? Ass. Like, that post-credit scene is wild. Like, to have Wong there, to have Captain Marvel there, and it's never referenced again. Like, this is the issue, and I think where it makes me excited again, not only because I think we've had two very good Marvel movies back to back, And to know that we have a brave new day, or whatever it's called, brave new day, or whatever the new Spider-Man one's called, I am still so hesitant about. And I think Doomsday and Secret Wars, Fantastic Four, like, has made me excited for them, knowing that this is how it's going to go. To see the tease of Doctor Doom finally is amazing.
I'm excited.
To see the Franklin Richards thing.
I think I had no investment, and as I've worn it very, very much on my sleeve. This is the first Marvel project I've watched since Deadpool and Wolverine. And the only reason I watched that was because of existing interest and just the fact that I knew it would be more lighthearted and funny and not like crap MCU humor. I thought it would be solid, and I enjoyed that film quite a lot. But I've been very detached from Marvel for quite a while. I think my sign off was probably around the end of, I want to say, like 2022. Was probably the end of my sort of Marvel interest. So
like the end of phase 4 or phase 5, whatever it was.
Pretty much the end of phase 4. And I think that's where my interest sort of died. Since then, I've not really tuned in. So like, I don't know really what's going on. I only hear about what's going on. But I think there's definitely a case that this film has reignited some of my interest, and it is definitely a thought in my mind that I will have to watch and want to watch everything leading up to Doomsday to get the maximum enjoyment of it.
Do you know what? I think for me, for this, it's like, I think I'd like to go back and watch the movies. I think the TV show, I don't think
I don't need to rewatch the TV shows for me.
I'm going to be, I don't think any of the TV shows will hold that much weight for Doomsday. Obviously, bar like characters, if that makes sense. I think the future of the MCU, like the new MCU, what it's going to be, or whatever the hell, the NMCU, whatever they're going to call it. I think it will be like...
Could be, yeah, they should do some like new sort of rebranding, honestly.
Yeah, because like new logo, like I think you should do like new MCU logo, like let's change the intro, let's get rid of the old Marvel intro with the rolling credits. Like, I think a lot of
this would be the place to call it.
I think there's a lot of things that have been set up recently in the TV shows. A lot of the Agatha stuff, like they've perfectly set up a Young Avengers, and they've so obviously you see like Ironheart, Sacha Baron Cohen's playing Mephisto, the Devil. There are rumors that we're going to get a new Ghost Rider in the new MCU, which is going to be very good. And there's also talk of them doing a show called The Champions, I think it is, which is going to be it's going to be the Young Avengers, like the first Young Avengers thing where they fight Mephisto and do all this stuff. We've also had confirmation of the Midnight Suns, which is pretty cool because it means we could get Moon Knight back, and some other pretty cool Doctor Strange stuff.
I want Moon Knight, man.
I saw something that they've apparently renewed Moon Knight for a second season, but I don't know if it's true. Midnight Suns could be the opportunity for...
I've just realised as well, this is Phase 6 now.
Yeah, this is the first project, Phase 6.
This is our first film in Phase 6 now.
To coin a phrase from Marvel, we're in the end game now. So...
Oh, give me a fucking break. Yeah, look, one thing I forgot to mention, and I want to just kind of swing back.
Let's cycle back to Fantastic Four after my massive Marvel rant.
Michael Giacchino. That's it. What that's an incredible soundtrack, man! Like his music,
mate. So good.
Michael Giacchino is one of, if not, I've raved about him on this podcast before. He's one of the most underrated, I think, modern cinema composers that you'll ever hear. You go back and you go, what's his name again? And then you realise everything he's done, and he's done all the modern Spider-Man films. He's done the fucking Incredibles. He did Up. He did Inside Out. He did the Shrek reboot films. He did some of the Planet of the Apes films recently. He did Doctor Strange. He's done fucking Rogue One. He did The Batman. He did the recent Thor film, which was a bit shit. But his soundtrack for Fantastic Four...
was good, though.
Man, good is another... Like, I think the main theme for Fantastic Four is just one of... Like, I was seeing something about this the other day. It's like, it's so sad, I think, that in the MCU, there's so much going on that there are very few definitive new themes for characters.
Yeah.
That it's hard
There's no,
to, like...
Yeah.
Okay, the only one I can think of really is Guardians of the Galaxy, which I think have an iconic motif and theme. Other than that, I think it's tough.
Not new though. Guardians of the Galaxy is not a new motif.
No, but what I'm saying is like the whole of the MCU, like we kind of find ourselves reusing like, the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, but like Captain America's theme, I guess, is probably the only other one that kind of rings a little bit through. But like Iron Man doesn't really have like a proper theme.
Yeah, that's true.
The
like,
Hulk
no individual
really,
character.
There's I don't think no real like soundtrack stand out to me. Maybe Doctor Strange a little bit, but not really. Just kind of more like a style.
I couldn't think about it off the top of my head, if that makes sense.
Whereas like Spider-Man, I think does, and Fantastic Four does. What's the common thread there? Both composed by Michael Giacchino.
Yeah.
I love this guy. He's so good, and the main theme for Fantastic Four is one of the best superhero like pieces of music I've heard in so long. I was obsessed listening to this before I even saw the film, and now I'm even more hooked. It is brilliant. If you listen to it on Spotify, the main theme extended version, it's 4 minutes long, and it goes through all the different variants of the theme. It's got some like grandiose space stuff. It's got some other stuff. I absolutely love it. Let's talk about the space shit, actually.
Yeah,
so I feel like you would have wanted to have I thought you would have wanted to talk about this, given that it's clearly inspired so deeply by Interstellar.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it is so Interstellar coded. Like, it is so...
like you got the shots on the side of the craft. The black hole imagery is identical to Interstellar.
The faster than light as well, like the warping.
Time dilation.
It's time dilation. It's perfect. Like, and that, beautiful. The time dilation stuff with, like, she's going to be stuck there for 4 months and stuff, that was a banger.
Clever! That's the kind of Reed Richards shit I want to see.
That's the Reed Richards. Yeah.
I did think there's a little part of it where I'm like, I think, again, going straight back to critiquing it, as I just think, like, certain elements, I'm like, do you not think there's some things they just collectively seemed a bit unfazed by?
I mean, when you go to space and become invisible and become stretchy and become a rock and become on fire, I can't imagine there's much else that'll phase you. And also seeing also just witnessing a silver woman on a surfboard and a guy as big as a skyscraper eating planets.
Okay, fair.
There's not much that might phase you after that.
Yeah, fair enough then.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah, it's. I loved it. The spaceship was amazing.
That whole sequence of them flying when she's given birth. The Silver Surfer.
The birth scene was amazing, man. That was so good.
The Silver Surfer flying and surfing the faster than light was one of, if not the coldest shit I have ever seen in Marvel.
Yeah.
Like,
I like how they did their own like hyperspace shit. Like they really kind of like went ham with it. Like they have this technology to almost do like a sort of Star Warsy thing, but they make it unique. They don't make it look like Star Wars, and I appreciate that. They do something different and unique, and that's.
I like that they had FTL and they had all that stuff. Like it was really good to have the attachment.
There's real science there.
Yeah,
there's a bit. Do you remember there was a bit in the film when Reed was just kind of talking and he had like made notes on the board and he was explaining like this sort of lore, and I'm like,
they've
actually done their research here. Like they're not just like kind of just.
It was the law of levers. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
That's what it was called.
Law of levers or something like that.
Yeah, law. It's basically if you have a fulcrum and you have a load, physics degree. Yeah. As long as you have a lever, like if you could, let's say if you could move the Earth if you had a big enough lever, like that's the law. Like you can move anything as long as you have a lever big enough, and you can pull on it as enough. So that's what they were talking about, and it was actual. But yeah, again, Reed Richards, smartest man alive. It should be this. We should have this. Like. I want Reed Richards to be this character that... Yeah. Don't get it wrong. Pedro Pascal's a busy fucking guy. So if you want him to appear in different projects like RDJ did, like, let's get this booked in advance because I want to be in the MCU and I want them to be a problem and I want them to go, who the fuck do we call? And I want to see them go into Reed Richards' lab in whatever the new tower's going to be. The Baxter Building. Is it the Baxter Building? No. What's the Baxter Building?
The Baxter Building, I think, is Fantastic Four.
It is Fantastic Four. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Who's Baxter?
Never said it in the film.
Is it the Baxter Building?
Baxter Building, Fantastic Four.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it is called that, but why is it called the Baxter Building?
Yeah, why is it called the Baxter Building? I thought it had been named after Reed Richards.
No
idea.
Oh, I have to Google this. Why?
Who is Baxter in Marvel?
Why is it called that? Named after Noah Baxter, who was a former part owner of the building.
Ah, there you go.
It's Reed Richards' former professor.
Ah, there we go. So
the Baxter Building. Okay,
but yeah,
cool.
I love that kind of stuff. Like I want him to be that guy. Like I think RDJ was good because you had him in different projects. Like, he appeared in the Captain Americas, he appeared in the Spider-Man. Like,
yeah,
he is, and Reed Richards is that guy, but more because it's like every fucking like he has an answer for everything. Like,
I love that it's
amazing.
literally the fucking Avengers Tower as well.
Oh,
it's the Avengers
literally...
Tower of that universe. It's just like the same exact kind of vibe.
I'm so interested to find out the layout mind for when they reset the universe of where everything's gonna go. Because you've got a Sanctum Sanctorum, you're gonna have the Avengers Tower, you're gonna have like Stark Tower, whatever, Avengers Tower, whatever it's gonna be in the new universe. We're gonna have a new Baxter building probably. X Mansion's gonna be there. So,
but I guess I will just see. We'll just see what happens, won't we?
And it excites me. It really does excite me to know that we're going to have this continuity, that we're going to have everything. We're going to have Marvel reunited. The final thing is Sony. Sell the fucking Spider-Man rights. You don't need them anymore.
Please,
you don't need them anymore.
Just take a permanent cut of all future sales and just sell the. Yeah.
Can you like that would actually that would break the internet if they announced that Sony was selling those. That's what Disney need to do, man. They're like it. They're Infinity Stones. I'm telling you, collecting them. It's the final part.
I'd love it. So I think the final question I sort of have is. Going back to the comparison, which one did you prefer, Superman or Fantastic Four? And I think it's kind of probably obvious based on what we've talked about, but
I think I preferred Superman.
Yeah,
but I think it's hard to come. I mean,
they are very different films, both stylistically and
like the way they're shot and written and everything. They're very different. But I also think it's hard because, like, to me, Superman doesn't feel like it has any weight. Like, it being, it's like the first Iron Man. Like, the first Iron Man has no weight. Like, yeah, they set a lot up in that Superman movie for stuff, but realistically, nothing that happened in that movie is going to play a major role. Like, in about 10, whenever they do their event.
But
as a movie, as a movie,
film, right? And I think we're talking about that, and that for me,
as a movie,
like, I don't value its significance in the bigger picture. I value its
as a movie. As a movie, you break it down to its fundamental filmmaking craft. Yeah, I think it was genius the way that they did so many of the things in Fantastic Four. But I think as a film, I think stylistically, I think the way that it's shot, I think the creative side of it, I think the way that it breaks the Superman, the hero format, that it does its own thing. I think Superman is leaps and bounds above it.
I agree. I agree. I think Fantastic Four was brilliant. I think my biggest problems probably come with that sort of almost lack of first act for me. That development for Ben Grimm that I think was really sorely needed. Like, there's a lot of talk as well about. There's a lot of references to how Reed blames himself for what happened to them, but because we don't see it happen and we don't see the immediate aftermath, and Reed actually distressed about what he believes he's caused, it's really hard to kind of understand where he's coming from.
Superman did the exact same thing where you don't do the origin story,
but I think it worked better.
Works better, but then again, I think Superman is different.
Superman is way more known. Like,
exactly.
There's not as much to say. The origin story with Superman is he has his powers and he's grown up. He's an alien who's grown up in Kansas. That's that. Whereas with the Fantastic Four, I feel like with a new iteration like this, when you're riding, the thing is, if Superman's story was so heavily driven on like elements in Clark's childhood or things that we didn't get to see in his first couple years of Superman, then I'd be a little bit more like, oh, this is a bit annoying. But it didn't. It was entirely focused on they gave you the relevant context and they cracked on. But with Fantastic Four, they kind of explained what happened. But I think with Ben Grimm's character, it was never going to be as in-depth or interesting from a character perspective without that context of seeing his initial reaction to looking like that, and also riding a lot on Reed's own guilt for what happened before, making his character, the choices he makes in this film are racked with guilt about the last time he made an informed decision, and it almost cost them all their lives. And that's where, like, there's a lot of that. You get that with the spacesuits, and you get that with there's a few conversations where he blames himself still, and it's because we didn't get to see that accident or what happened or how Reed caused it. I'm not saying they needed to have a whole film about it. I'm just saying that doing the whole TV thing where it sort of shows them coming back to Earth and then what they've been doing, it's like, it's cool, but seeing them on that ship, seeing the decisions that Reed made to cause this, would have hit harder in the long run. I think.
I think it's brave to do. I think it's brave to do like not showing the origin story. I think.
Yeah.
However, I think there are at an absolute push, a handful of superheroes you could do that with.
Yeah.
Superman being one of them, Spider-Man being the other one. Is I think everybody like you need superheroes who transcend the nerdy culture of hero movies, and I think Superman does. I think Spider-Man does. Fantastic Four, I don't think are as big as maybe they think. I think Batman is another one that you would never have to. You could start. But they never have to do an origin story for Batman.
And they didn't with the Batman. They didn't with Superman, and it works. And they did it with
Brave and the
Spider-Man.
Bold isn't going to do it. Like Brave and the Bold's going to start so far in.
What I like here is that I like that they're going for that vibe, but I actually think in this one case, I would have quite liked to have seen their origin on screen again. Yeah. Because the last time, ignoring Fantastic, the last time we properly got it was like 20 years ago. And not everyone has seen those films. I think it's like understandable to get, people know the Superman origin because there was a film 12 years ago. People know the Batman origin because we've seen it again like 10 to 12 years ago. And then before that, 15, 16 years ago with the Nolan trilogy, like that's in recent memory. Spider-Man, again, recent memory because you had early 2000s. Then you had 2012, 2013, Andrew Garfield. And then we've got the origin story again in like 2016, 17. It's like you can kind of map out like there's recent history in the last 5-10 years, whereas Fantastic Four, other than that one film that famously crashed and burned, and nobody I've still never seen it as a Fantastic Four fan. I've never seen Fantastic. I think mark that off, and the last Fantastic Four film you had was 20 years ago.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's about...
It's tricky, yeah.
I think it's all about how big... Like, for me, it's like... Yeah, there was a Green Lantern movie, like 10, 12 years ago with Ryan Reynolds, but I would expect them to do a Green Lantern origin in the Lantern
how popular
series.
films are, though. I think that's also it as well. It's like Man of Steel was big, so you didn't have to do this Superman origin.
But then I think Superman anyway. I think Man of Steel you could have got away with not doing it because I think there are some characters who are, no matter how far away they've like. I think 20 years, fair enough. Like you should have done an origin story, but I
just think you have to be really careful before you go into a film and go, the audience already know. It's like I don't know.
If they axed Spider-Man,
kids watching for the first time, like they're gonna want to see those points.
If they axed Spider-Man today and in 20 years' time did a brand new Spider-Man movie, I could fully back them not doing because I think it's just so big.
Yeah,
like, I get that kind of level. I think it's brave.
But then part of me would probably want to see it as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think but then again, it's a part of it where it's like, I think it's different stuff. It's like, if they're going to be there for a long period of time, maybe you should have done it. Like, I think now we look back at Spider-Man, yes, we didn't have to do it, but Tom Holland's Spider-Man's so big now that it would have been nice to have had it, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's kind of the way that I see it now.
It's an interesting one. I think this is one of the circumstances for me where I just would have liked to see more in that origin side of things. Mm-hmm. But because they relied so much on it as a character perspective, I think that would have been more interesting to actually see their stuff. But okay. I think that's everything I want to say about Fantastic Four. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was as good as Superman, but I think it's very different sort of films, very hard to compare. But I did thoroughly enjoy watching Fantastic Four, and I did feel a lot of joy coming out of it.
I felt so much joy coming out. I was such a child. The one thing I forgot to mention is I love that they called the Doom soundtrack Doom ? For the post-credit scene. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
In the credits when they're going through the music, it was titled Doom ?
Who is it composed by as well? Because
I didn't see. I don't know who it was.
Is it Alan Silvestri? That's the thing. Oh, I need to check that out now.
Yeah, it was called Doom ? It was so great. It just makes me, and that's what I'm happy. Like Thunderbolts gave me that same. I enjoyed those knee-jerk reactions, like the Thunderbolts scene at the end where they announced that they're now the Avengers and all that kind of stuff. Like I was like, and it's like I hate that I'm now nostalgic for the Avengers theme because it's been so long since we've heard it properly. That when they played it in the movie, I was like, oh my god, like properly, like so nice to hear it again. Like the Fantastic Four shit, I was like, oh my god, like those knee-jerk reactions I live for. The Latveria thing. Proper knee-jerk reaction, the Doom stuff, seeing the mask, seeing it pan over, being like, who the hell's that? And then see the mask, and I was like, oh my god. Like, I love that stuff.
I actually didn't care to... I missed this bit where they mentioned it, because actually we don't have a composer for Doomsday. Avengers Doomsday yet, so it'd be interesting to find out who scored that one bit, because it's not Michael Giacchino, because it's not in the Fantastic Four soundtrack.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting.
I want to go and see it in IMAX because I want to see the Galactus stuff with the extended frame. So I'll find out.
I don't know, man. It's I don't know if I'm gonna ever see it on IMAX, but if they release it on Disney Plus, I wouldn't mind catching that. Let me just. Yeah, it's presumed to be Alan Silvestri, but we don't really know. He did the previous Avengers films. So, yeah, cool. Let's do just news then.
Cool.
I think we've got a good one today, I reckon. This is another one from the wonderful Elle, who's sent in some fantastic stories. Just absolutely crazy stories. You ready for this?
I am ready for this.
30 women caught mingling in Blackpool car park, all dressed as a penis.
That's a big hen do.
Yeah. Lancashire constabulary, oh god, were also needed after a limousine pulled over near a pub where a group of 10 to 15 women who appeared to be having a hen do jumped out and proceeded to urinate in public.
What?
God.
Blackpool.
I'm just trying to like picture what is actually going on here, because there's no images, so good luck trying to like use a mental image for this one. A large group of women caught mingling in a Blackpool car park while all dressed as a penis, like singularly.
Every person was a different piece of it.
I don't know. Was among a wide range of stag and hen do incidents sparking police calls. Of course it was. A probe by Last Night of Freedom has shed light on some of the cheeky antics that have been caught the eyes of the law during pre-wedding booze-ups in the UK. They include everything from naked revelers to one stag suspected of setting off fireworks inside a bar whilst dressed as Big Bird from Sesame Street. That's just a wonderful image, isn't it? Suspected of, though. In Lancashire, the force responded to reports during last year's coronavirus lockdown, that's an old article then, that as many as 30 women were illegally mingling in Blackpool car parks, all dressed as a penis.
How is it illegal? That's my question.
In coronavirus lockdown.
Ah, okay. Oh, during lockdown, sorry, yeah.
Officers were told that around a dozen vehicles packed with hens were parked up on the seaside resort. Now,
bit derogatory.
Actual hens? Or actual just people on the hen do? I don't know if that's like some sort of phrasing, because that's actually hilarious. It's just cars packed with actual hens.
All dressed as penises as well.
Elsewhere in the county, police were called to deal with one punter who wet themselves on a night out. That's not too bad. They were also needed after a limousine pulled over near a pub where a group of 10 to 15 women who appeared to be having a hen do jumped out and proceeded to urinate in public.
So it wasn't the penises who urinated in public. Okay.
Different people.
It doesn't make it any better. But...
Despite Blackpool's reputation as a stag and hen mecca, brilliant way of phrasing it.
Crazy.
That's mental.
To compare it to Mecca.
Yeah,
that is
a stag
wild.
and hen mecca. Figures released by Lancashire Constabulary suggest that on average, police dealt with one stag or hen do party incident every fortnight since the start of 2021. Analysis of the logs indicates that in many instances, the root cause of the problems faced on a weekend away was overindulgence. Freedom of information request. There's a lot of information here.
Yeah.
The vast majority of incidents being recorded by police aren't stags and hen do's being a nuisance, but a pocket of dials or revelers getting lost in a strange town or city. We believe stag and hen do's are unfairly labelled as a nuisance, where in reality is there just a bunch of normal people having fun with friends while celebrating a major moment in their mate's life. This is about 2 paragraphs after they talked about cars full of hens and people pissing everywhere and just penises. I don't think there's anything else to this really. There's some stuff about Newcastle which I just noticed. That's good.
Oh.
Let's go to that. But the most common reason for dialing 999 wasn't a crime. Instead, it was members of the group who simply hadn't escaped from the pack and got lost. According to Matt, who launched the firm in his Newcastle student house in the 90s before turning it into a multi-million-pound business. Oh, it's just some fucking information, boring data, people.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. I thought it was going to be some Geordie antics. Yeah, it's doing that fucking thing again where they just sort of take half the article and they copy and paste it and just reword it. It's just fucking. So that's crazy. The end of the article. I'm calling it.
Yeah.
What do you think you get up to on a stag do?
I don't know. I don't think I'd be that wild. Like,
do a
well, it's
Star
not my
Wars film
choice, is it?
marathon.
It's not my choice,
Yeah,
is it?
true.
I'd like to organise one. I think it would be good
Yeah.
to organise one.
An
But,
organising one would be quite fun.
yeah, my mum used to work for a stag and hen do company who used to do it.
God.
So they used to go around and organise them in different cities and stuff, and organise all the accommodation, the activities and stuff.
Yeah, so thank you for paying for the premium package. Here are 30 penis costumes. Go ham. Well, yeah, okay. Well, that is that for today, then. Thank you so much for listening, watching, all that sort of lovely stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, please don't forget to give us a like, comment below your thoughts on Fantastic Four First Steps, and also be sure to subscribe with notifications on as well. If you're listening on Spotify, be sure to follow us and give us a hearty 5-star review. As you know, it really does help. Thank you once again for watching. Yeah.
I love...
Don't give us a 4-star review. Give us a 5-star review.
5-star review. Have you seen that they recreated the photo that Pedro Pascal did in the press interview? It's
That's
so
really
good.
So yes, follow us on there. We've got social media. We're on Twitter, on Instagram as well. And you can follow both of our personal social medias below as well if you want to see what we're up to. Thank you very much for watching, listening, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye.